This is me, Catherine Swart, and this is Redemption Time Prison Ministries. I would like to leave a word with you, and this is just what God has dropped in my spirit. And this word comes out from Mark chapter 14, and we all know the story where Mary went to Bethany and she found Jesus in the house of Simon the leper. And I just want to leave this with you, and this was so amazing. I'm just going to read from verse 3. And being in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at meat, there came a woman having an alabaster box of ointment of spikenard, very precious, and she broke the box and poured it on his head. And there were some who had indignation within themselves, and said, why was the waste of the ointment made? For it might have been sold for more than 300 pence, and have been given to the poor. And they murmured against her. And Jesus said, let her alone. Why trouble her? She has wrought a good work on me. And just want to leave it up to there. Just want to drop this for you, my brother and my sister. And this actually stood out for me. We all know the story of Mary. Mary went into the house of Simon the leper. And sometimes Simon actually had the name the leper. It was not like, oh, it was Simon, you know him. It was Simon the leper. And the sickness actually gave him a status. The sickness actually gave him that character. The sickness, it was almost like the sickness carried him. The sickness gave him a status, and he was in the house. He was in the same room where Jesus was. And what stood out for me is that when Mary went to the house of Simon the leper, she found Jesus. He was reclining at the table. And Simon the leper, Simon the one with the status, Simon the one with the sickness, Simon the one with the problem, Simon the one with the issue, had an issue with Mary that anointed Jesus' head and Jesus' feet. Now here's the thing, my brother and my sister. Mary went there for a purpose. And when we read, the other versions will say something different, but they all speak the same story. When we look at that verse where Mary entered the house and Jesus was sitting there, it's so profound for me. She took the box of alabaster oil and she broke it on Jesus' head and on Jesus' feet. Now what stood out for me was Mary actually had to go down. She had to stoop down. She had to stoop down to Jesus' feet. Now if you have long hair, then there's a certain way that Mary had to bend down. If you've got short hair, then obviously you have to stoop down onto Jesus' feet, and that is actually the best place. So Mary had to go down in a certain position to be able to anoint Jesus' feet, and also to use her hair to dry Jesus' feet. Now if you look at it, just the scenario, just want to build this picture for you quickly. If you have long hair, maybe it's here at the back or on your neck or so, and you have to stoop down and you have to bend down to anoint Jesus. You have to bend down in a very, very low position to touch the feet of Jesus if you've got like very, very short hair. But even if you have long short hair, you still have to go stoop down onto that position to touch the feet of Jesus with your hair. So what I'm saying is that we all have to come down at a certain point where we need to anoint Jesus' feet, And at that moment when Mary went down in that position, jy weet wat het gebeur. Mary het in verbintenis, net daar, het in verbintenis getree met koning Jesus Christus, because why she knew the purpose. She knew the purpose why she had to anoint his feet with the most expensive oil, the spikenard oil. Simon, hy sê nog, why are you allowing this woman Why are you allowing this person to do this, And Jesus said, no, just leave her. And Jesus said, laat loop Maria dis laat, Maria had to do this thing because why? Daar was tyd verbonde aan wat ook al Jesus moes gedoen het en Maria moes gedoen het, because it was set out like that. In actual fact, it was written like that in heaven, because that was part of Jesus' purpose, and that was part of Mary's purpose, because God has written it already in the spirit. It just needed to be manifested on earth. It is so amazing, and I just want to, let me just leave this with you. Sometimes you will get people that walks with you and it has a problem, like, why are you allowing this person? Weet jy dan nie dat sy 'n prostituut was nie? Weet jy dan nie dat sy 'n drug addict was nie? Weet jy dan nie dat sy siek is nie? Weet jy dan nie dat sy gesteel het nie? Weet jy dan nie dat sy het 'n ander reputasie nie? Sometimes you will go to that work, or you apply for a certain position, dan sal die ene aan die ene sê, but don't you know who that is? Die persoon was 'n ex-prostituut, of die persoon was 'n ex-drug addict, die persoon kon jy die tronk uit, of moenie hy jong vat nie, of moenie die persoon toelaat daar by jou kerkie, of moenie die persoon toelaat daar in jou huis nie, because why? They've got this reputation that people already knows them. But if we look at Simon Peter, the word says that Simon, die Afrikaanse woord sê, die is 'n lidwoord, en Simon het al klare status gehad, want almal het al vir hom geken as Simon die Melaatse, nie Simon 'n Melaatse nie. Dit was nie 'n sekere of 'n nie. Dit was hoe hulle hom gekenmerk het, en dieselfde soos Mary, Mary Magdalene. Simon sê vir Jesus, but weet jy dan nie wie? Weet jy dan nie wie is dit nie? But dit is baie snaaks, because why Simon die Melaatse sê vir Jesus, maar Jesus ken nie dan vir haar nie, is amper soos maar hy is dan die ene wat ook gekenmerk is met die soort siekte, maybe you are the one that they know that, ja, jy's 'n alcoholic, jy's 'n druggie, of jy's 'n sex addict, of jy kyk porn, of jy's nie die ene, jy's nie die rosie, jy's nie die russiemaker, maar in die meantime is daar ook iemand anders, die ene wat eintlik gekenmerk is, wat hulle eintlik sê, hy is die persoon, hy is die drug addict, of hy is die een met die probleem, wys die ander ene uit met die probleem. So wat sê ek nooit? Let us not see, laat ons nie die splint in iemand anders se oog sien nie, In the meantime het ons die hele balk in ons oog. Or maybe God will send people to assist you. God will send people to help you in your ministry. God will send people to help you in your workspace, God will send you people to come and lift up your arms, Whatever business you've got, wat ook al jy besig, whatever business you've got, sometimes God will send in people, and dan sal die altyd sê, nee, moenie die ene vat of moenie dan, but in the meantime, then God will just let that person know, laat loop is laat, this person needs to come and fulfill the purpose that it needs to be fulfilled, Just want to leave that with you, my brother. So next time when God sends people to you, do not reject the people, do not resent or whatever, Take those people that God has sent through to you to do this thing for you, because if you look at the woman, that woman was sent to that certain place, to that house, to that job, to that workspace, to that business, to fulfill the purpose, to fulfill that purpose, to fulfill that person's calling, to fulfill that person's destiny, and we being sent to other people, it is to assist them also, and to make sure that they are also entering and embarking and finishing their journey off. So I just want to leave that with you, my brother, my sister, and this stood out for me. This really stood out for me. En net daar and once again, net daar tree Maria in verbintenis. So I just want to leave this with you. If you, as jy weggeval het van die Here af, as jy miskien verkeerd getrap het, as jy miskien wil oorbegin, because we are already in the new year, dan sê jy, Here, ek kom weer en ek kom tree in verbintenis met U. You can only be part of the kingdom. Jy kan nie part wees van 'n ander kingdom nie. And you can only be, as jy in verbintenis tree met Jesus, then you can have part of then we are partakers of the kingdom, Maar as jy nou nog hier by die drankwinkel en hier by die hoerhuis en hier by die hoek staan en hier die vloek soos 'n matroos, of hier dinge doen wat that is not of God, then you must come back and repent, and then you say, Here, ek tree nou in verbintenis in met U. Mary came and she exchanged everything, al die goeders wat vir haar so swaar gedra het, alles het haar sin en sy het whatever, het sy gekom na die Here toe en she exchanged that. En net daar tree sy in vir 'n nuwe verbond in met Christus. So met die nuwe verbond is daar 'n nuwe plan wat Jesus vir ons het. Miskien het jy opgemors by die vorige plan, but now it's just rewriting your life and just want to leave that with you. So kom en tree in verbintenis in met Jesus Christus, want hy het jou lief. Hy het ons so lief dat hy gesterf het op die kruis van Golgotha. En dit is die nuwe verbond wat Jesus met ons wil sluit. En Jesus is die nuwe verbond.